Hello pouring art people, welcome back to my channel. I'm giving another shot at the purple, white, and black that I did in my last video. Let me get you down and I'll talk about what I'm doing different this time. In my last video, which if you haven't seen it, I'll link it up top. It should be appearing in just a second. I did one with a black background and all purples and whites on the top. But one of the purples, which is this one, it's Brilliant Purple by Liquitex. It's a beautiful purple. But where the white mixed with it, it turned kind of a light pink with just barely a purple tinge to it. And that's not what I wanted for this piece because it's for my son. So I'm trying again. And I do not know why, but we got some lint floating around this garage because I have picked lint out of this thing. Not to mention I cleaned it before I put down the base. But the base is Oxide Black by Amsterdam mixed with Floetrol and water. The colors are all mixed with Floetrol, a lot of Floetrol, a little bit of Fluol, and in equal parts Vivid Enamels by ColourArte. I'm not sure off the top of my head what other pouring mediums would be equivalent to Vivid Enamels, so I do not have a suggestion for substitutions at this time. But the consistency is basically, if you drizzle paint around the cup, by the time you make a circuit, the trace is pretty much gone. And I think I need to thin that out just a tad bit. It was too thin, now it wants to be too thick. The purples I'm using are African Violet. This is a Prism pour by ColourArte. I decided to go ahead and go with two shimmery colors. I can't really get it to show up in this light, but it's the shimmer in this has got kind of a blue color shift to it. I'm using the dioxazine purple again, and it's got some kind of lumps in it that I tried to get out. I would have mixed a new batch, but I don't have enough dioxazine purple left because for some reason I accidentally ordered a small bottle last time. So I'm just going to pick any lumps out after I pour it down before I put another color on top of it. Then the African Violet, which I used last time, kind of a real pretty plum purple with some shimmer and kind of a little bit of a pink color shift, a little bit of blue too. And then this is the color that the main color I really chose to replace the Brilliant Purple. Maybe it's my pouring medium that's got, no, because I didn't put any more pouring medium in there. Has dioxazine purple, but this is managed to get a lump in it too. It's a lumpy paint day, but anyway, this is Ultramarine Violet, and it's by Golden, and it's the golden fluid. And the nice thing about the fluids, the Prism pours similar. Primary elements is definitely like this. When you mix them in with your pouring medium, especially if you get your consistency down with the pouring medium and add any water to it that you might need first, you don't have to play with the consistency any further. And then you can match your other paints to that consistency. So that's handy. And that's actually kind of how I learned what consistency worked well for me in a Dutch pour, is starting to play with them with primary elements. But I'm going to do a little bit of a different pattern too. I don't know how that's going to work out. Instead of doing a big C, I'm going to do two areas across from each other and blow them in towards each other. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm starting with the ultramarine violet. Of course, I may not be the best person to do this kind of pour because my distance judging isn't great. I'm going to put the African violet on top of that because it's a nice contrasting color. It's got a little more pink to it. It's a little darker. And I'm also layering the Prism pours, which are shimmery colors, in between the Liquitex Basics, which have no shimmer to them at all. Because they say that's a good thing to do. How true is that? I don't know. I haven't really tested it yet, but I know it. I want to try to do one with all shimmery colors just to see what happens. Because they say not to do that because most of them are semi-transparent. And so, of course, if they say not to do something, it makes me want to do it. But my advice would be concerning when somebody tells you not to do something in a pour. If you are new and you're just figuring out what you're doing and you're not real confident yet, you don't have your consistencies down real good and so on and so forth, then I would just do what people say until you get more comfortable and then start to experiment, because sometimes what works for one person doesn't always work for the next. For instance, on consistencies, I've seen artists use one artist use a thicker paint for a certain type of pour than another one would use. Now, of course, when you're dealing with like dirty pours or any kind of pour where you want to get cells, you don't want your paints too thin because the cells won't hold up, but you don't want them too thick because then they won't move. Dutch pours can get pretty thin, but there's a certain place where that's too thin as well. I think pouring white on this side was almost pointless. Let's see how that can possibly not be level. Okay, so let me get my blow dryer. I didn't end up getting that one blue blow dryer returned in time, so I've got two now, which is good since they seem to want to overheat. I can switch them out. make sure I don't really got this. And color-wise, yeah, it's great. I will be using that brilliant purple in a pour soon. I think I'm gonna do one with some of the leftover paints from the last couple pours I did. And I'll be using the brilliant purple for that. Because it's a very pretty color. And even mixed with the white, it's a very pretty color. I just didn't want that color in that piece. Okay, so
say my name until the city burns and the stars fade away and your scars don't hurt. Stay with me until the last man falls. I don't need them anyway. When I'm with you,
I love the colors and hate the shape. Okay, I'm going to experiment right here.
I'm yours until the end of time.
I'm going to do a blow inwards. I laid these down backwards for the other colors because I wasn't paying attention.
Say my name until the city burns and the stars fade away and your scars don't hurt. Stay with me until the last man.
This has got to not be level. I don't understand how, but
I'll never let you slip away. And you don't have to be afraid. I will hold you till the sun comes crashing down. I'm yours until the end of time.
so you can expect there not to hardly be any black left in this one. But I think I'm going to like the pattern better. And I guess, just for the sake of matching, I will layer the purples backwards on this side too. Get that ready because you probably have to take some stuff out of that and use that. Really? Well, at least they did it before I put it on that part. I will probably use some of these colors in the leftover pour I was talking about earlier as well, but not all of them. Not with the other colors I'm going to use. That would be a little bit much. Okay, so this side's more black. It doesn't really match this side, this other side, but I kind of like that. I wonder if I can get it blown out enough to cover that black spot. Just in the end, that's where the hole is anyway. I'm close to it. All right. I'm going to torch over this. No idea what that is. Where could that have come from? It's a little black rubber ring. I can't get off my glove now. Doesn't really show up that well on my glove. I have no idea what that could have come from. Okay, y'all, I really like that one. I especially like this part right here because you got these little purple cells in the black and it almost looks, I don't know, tie-dyed or graffiti or something. This right here where the African violet is mixed with the black, it's just really gorgeous. And then there's cells in plenty of places. There's some bumps in it, but resin should disguise those pretty well. I do need to order some more dioxazine purple though, so I don't have to use a lumpy purple again, but the dioxazine really needed to be in this. Important. So let me get my gloves off. So there's still a little bit, it's still got some pink in it somehow, but I believe that there's enough of the other purples. The pink doesn't bother me as much with this one. However, not sure what made the pink. It would be either the ultramarine or the twilight orchid. And it really looks like one of the purples bled up through the white to make that. But let me know what you think. Still love some color suggestions for other colors to use for this kind of pour with the black and white and just different shades of a single color. I've got an idea to do a green one and of course a blue one. Aren't those the obvious ones? But any other suggestions would be very much appreciated. Let me figure out my lighting here, because I'm wanting to hopefully catch the shimmer. See that blue color shift in the African violet? Beautiful color. That, I believe, you can buy it in the big bottle off ColourArte site. It's also part of their, why can't I remember the name of that set? When I remember it, I will put it up as a pop-up on this screen. I'll look it up. I can't remember what the set's called. It's something cool tones. And see, look how beautiful that is right there. Love that. Love the way, even though I intended to be more white in this part. That almost reminds me, let me see if I can get the glare off of it for you, of a butterfly wing. So, you know, I intended it to look more like the side across from it. But it looks so cool that I'd rather just let them offset each other rather than match each other. Gosh, I almost didn't include the African violet because it looks, until you mix it, it looks kind of close to the ultramarine. But I am so glad I put it in here because, oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. And see here, you've got the African violet and the twilight orchid. They're mixing together. We made all kinds of pretty patterns. Like I said, I wanted the negative space, but the shape of that initial blowout, I just didn't like the shape of the edges and how it met. So I decided I would rather it just be this big purple passion crazy mess, not really a mess, but just be in your face purple everywhere, than have that weird pattern. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Hit that notification bell if you'd like to be notified when my videos come out on Fridays. And I will catch you later.